Brandon joins us. Good to have you here. First time, so we appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, guys.
I was trying to say to Evan, well, first off, as you know, I announced that you're my favorite Met for the season. And I said, I tell you why I said it. I said it because Evan and I started this show November 9th of this past year. So obviously about a month after the season ended. And I come back to the fan. I'm like, why do Met fans hate Brandon Nimmo? Seems like such a good guy. Wyoming, the whole thing, right? And every day I sit here, we want George Springer. We want Jackie Bradley Jr. And I go F yourselves all you. You got the guy right here. He might bat 300 this year. He's much better against lefties than when he first started his career. All good in the hood. I'm Brandon Nimmo's biggest fan. So for you, what was it like knowing that the fan base was actively recruiting Steve Cohen and Sandy and the gang to find a replacement for you? Did that bother you? Did it hurt you? How did you react to it?
I tried to not pay too much attention to it. It was an interesting offseason because there was so much talk going on about it. But, to be honest with you, I tried to just take it as motivation to try and be better. So I tried to work on being quicker, having better first step quickness in the outfield. One thing that we did kind of target in the off season was, playing a little bit deeper. I was playing I think in the beginning, the first month of the season, I was playing a good 20 to sometimes 60 feet more shallow than a normal, major league center fielder. And so that was just a positioning error on our part. And then I just tried to take it in stride. I mean, there's nothing that I can really do to try and, change people's opinion other than work hard, go out there and try and produce. And so, for me, it was more about what is Louis communicating to me? What is Sandy communicating to me? And, this offseason, Louis was in contact with me communicating that, hey, I know that you can play center field. I know there's a lot of talk out there, but until anything happens, you're our center fielder for now. And so I took that as, so I'm going to go and try and work on center field and be the starting center fielder for this season. So I just tried to take it in stride and tried to approach it, with a positive mindset of, okay, I got some things that I can be better at, but I also think that I bring a lot to the table as the center fielder.
And you also understand that Craig is just full of it. We don't dislike Brandon, because I'll admit I was on the side of adding a center fielder, not because I ever disliked you. You're a hell of a player. It was more of, we're building a baseball team, or the Mets better if Brandon's a left fielder than if he's a center fielder. That was all it was. Met fans don't hate you. I just want to make that clear.
All right, I appreciate that. I'm glad we cleared that up.
I think it's one of those, all right, he's here. Let's go, Brandon. Go get him.
No, well, look. Here's my question, because I have been critical of your defense in center field, but it is what it is. How much better do you feel you can be in 2021? You mentioned the positioning, which is interesting. By the way, what's your dog's name?
His name is Jake.
What's up? Wait a second. Forget your defense in center field.
Yeah.
Did you name him after the best pitcher in baseball, Brandon?
It was a happy accident. We adopted him. And we adopted him in 2018, just after the 2018 season. And his name happened to be Jake.
Wow.
And we were like, oh man, we can't keep it Jake, because Jake will like that way too much. But so we were like, we got to change it, but he wouldn't respond to
anything. Is it true that Noah Syndergaard offered you $5,000 to change the dog's name to Noah?
No, there's not an ounce of truth to that.
Talking to Brandon Nimmo, the Mets center fielder. Brandon, listen, I know last year was unique for everybody, right? It's a year that no one ever has to want to go through again or repeat. And you do have fans in the ballpark this year. Obviously not full capacity, but you do have, I don't know what the number is, 1,000 or so, whatever it is down there. It's going to seem like a silly question, but is that tangible to you? Is it a tangible difference just going through spring training games, the few you've played with a few people in the stands?
Yeah, most definitely. I think the biggest thing that we saw was right away, Jeff McNeil hit a home run, and it was nice to get like the cheer back, that live action cheer where everybody is excited and you feel a little more normal in the stadium. So I definitely like the fans being there and want more and more of them back. Obviously, want to be as safe as possible in doing that. But there is an energy that the fans bring that just can't be replaced. So last year was a special circumstance. We had to do what we had to do in order to, get that season in and get those 60 games in. And it was more of a sprint than a marathon. The fans definitely help in the marathon of the season. And, we're excited to see them back. I'm excited to have them back. And I hope that in the coming months, we can add to those numbers more.
No doubt. Where did it come from? Because this is one of the things I know I personally like as a Met fan, and a lot of Met fans like, that when you get hit by a pitch, which you have a penchant to do, it's a great skill, or draw a walk, which you have an even better skill of doing, you sprint to first base. Very Pete Rose-like. When did it start? Where did it come from? Give me the history of Brandon Nimmo sprinting to first base.
I've done it since I can remember. So I just grew up trying to play the game hard. My dad told me to try and play the game like my hair was on fire. And so I am super excited every single time that I get on base. So when I get hit by a pitch, or whenever I, have a good at bat and get a walk, or even if it's a 4-pitch walk, I'm just excited to get down to first base, and I'm trying to get there as quick as possible so that the next guy up can do his job, and I'm just passing the baton along. So really, ever since I remember, I've done it. But it's just something that's been inside of me that my dad taught me to do. He told me to play the game hard, respect the game. And so if somebody walks me, if somebody hits me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be hustling down, and I'm very, very fortunate to be able to play this game as my job. And so I want to try and play it hard. I want to try and play it the right way and with respect.
So you're a small town kid from Wyoming. So I went out to Wyoming once, and I figured, since I like to fish, how hard could fly fishing really be? It's the most impossible thing on the planet for someone who doesn't do it to do it. And I spent like 3 hours, trying to do the whole thing. And for 3 hours, I never got it right. To the point where the guide was like, "You scared all the fish away. I've never seen anything like this." So I'm wondering, that was my experience in Wyoming, which is a beautiful state, of course. You've been in New York long enough now. Is there any aspect of the big city of New York that you're still like, these people are crazy, that you're not 100% comfortable about?
I've gotten used to most of it because we were fortunate enough to live there for 2 years. But I still, I don't know. Sitting in the traffic part, I just don't get. For me, living 2 hours out on Long Island and then commuting in, to the city, I pass by that traffic every single day on my way to the field. And I'm always going the opposite way of it, which is strategic, by the way. Right. And I'm like, man, how do people do this? That's 3 hours of their life every day that is just sitting in the car looking at the next one in front of you. And so that one still gets me. I'm like, man, these people are crazy. I don't know how they live out on the island and drive in every day and do that one. But
let me get to the big topic of the day for us here. We all saw the video. The chest bumping, high fiving, gloves and hats in the air, like you just won games. You know where I'm going? Like you just won Game 7 of the World Series.
Yep.
My take is, come on, guys. You're not a Little League team. What are we doing here?
Yep.
Now, there's been two different stories. One story is that you guys are doing some kind of 27-out drill. Every play gets done, cleanly, and on the 27th out, it was kind of a natural, hey, we did it. Louis Rojas came out and said, that's what he said. The other side is someone said, hey, let's pretend like we won the World Series and we're celebrating. Whose idea was it? Why did we get that reaction? And can you promise it'll never happen again until October? October's fine, but not until then. So walk us through that today.
Okay, so the big thing there is, yes, we were playing the 27-out game. But then the other part of it is that a lot of our coaches and our mental strength guys, they say that the more that you visualize something, the more that you put it into action,
yes,
that then you will realize it. So as if like speak it into fruition, speak it into existence.
Now,
so,
is the 27 out game, is it situational? Like, will they say, okay, man on third, 2 outs? So every out's situational.
Every out is situational, and if you mess up, you go back to the first out. And so you got to do 27 in a row. You got to do it right. And if you mess up, you start over.
Well, then I got to ask, sorry, Evan, how long did it take you guys to get 27 straight?
It was perfect. What are you talking about?
Believe it or not, we got it on the first try.
First crack at it?
It may be tough to believe after watching some of the defense the first few games.
After watching the last few games, I know it's tough to believe, but we did it.
And Jeff McNeil played today? Really?
J.D. Davis
too?
So what was the situation that I guess it was Tony or whoever it was, said to you guys before the 27th out? Was it Game 7 World Series 2 outs, or what was it something else?
Yeah, so we got 27 outs. Then he said, okay, I want you to do one more. And they did it like a shadow ball. So not even a real ball. Nothing.
I knew it.
They said, going back, you're going to rob a home run, and we're going to win. We're going to win the World Series. Game 7, I want everybody put that in your mind, put that feeling in your heart, soak it up. And now visualize it happening, and then visualize what it's going to be like after it, and go through it and do it.
I love it.
And so that's what we were doing today.
I got a few questions that jump out of this. Did they name Tony Tarasco, because I think he was the guy who set it up? Yep. Did they name an opponent, or was it a nameless opponent that you beat to win the World Series?
It was a nameless opponent. Nameless opponent.
Number 2.
Tony. Yep.
Why didn't you? All right, you've taken heat from guys like me. Oh, Brandon Nimmo should be a left fielder. How come Brandon Nimmo didn't get to make the leaping catch? Why was it Conforto?
I don't know. He just chose Conforto. We're not worried about the I in the team, for trying to win a World Series. We want to get it done however we can. I wasn't worried about it not being me. I just want to win a World Series. So you can say all you want, man. It's all good. I can take it. I'm a professional. So
here's the good news: you're my favorite Met this year, so you got me on your side. So I imagine that we'll get to know each other pretty well once you guys come up and start playing. And we do wish you the best of luck. Appreciate your time today, and I appreciate your attitude as well. Thanks for joining us so much. And we do look forward to talking to you throughout the season. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you,
I really
Brandon.
appreciate it.
Okay, so there's Brandon Nimmo.